to another episode of Beer for Breakfast ABV. I am Danielle from The Moog Show on 91X. I have my beer drinking partner in crime back with me, Paul Segura from Karl Strauss. And I feel a little bit overwhelmed right now because I have three of the raddest, coolest people in all of San Diego beer. We have Tom
and Scott Blair.
And Scott.
Yeah, right. I just tagged along.
We've got Tom Nickel from Nickel Beer Company. We've got Tyson from O'Brien's, and we've got Scott from Hamilton's and South Park Brewing. How's it going, guys?
Great.
Awesome.
Good to have you guys on the show, man.
It's good to be here. Cheers.
Woo.
Yes.
We've already started pre-gaming.
It's done right there.
Good times. No, this is exciting. I've had the three of you on separately for different things, and so to bring the three of you together for this, I feel like the 91X studio might just blow up right now.
There's a lot of energy here.
I'm going to promise you that I will not spit in your face like Jeff Whitaker.
Thank you for that.
It's appreciated.
I did see that. I did see that. And I go, oh, Jeff, man. Burning Beard, we love you. We love you, Jeff. We love you, man.
You know, it's still early in the show. I wouldn't make that promise yet.
Yes.
It's never going to happen.
Only beer number one. Only beer number one.
Right.
And talking about beer number one, the Warrior Contribution beer. This is a golden ale that you guys did with Bitter Brothers, right,
Yeah,
Tom?
so this is a brand new beer we released this year that we're doing in collaboration with Bitter Brothers for distribution all over San Diego. And all of the proceeds from the beer are going to be donated to the Inner North Star PTSD Retreat Center in Julian, which provides no-cost retreats to veterans and first responders suffering from PTSD. And Blair here is a veteran Marine. So
I'm a vet for the United States Marine Corps, and I do have PTSD. So that was something I came back from the Gulf with. And so it's really nice for me to be able to support something like that and to have somebody out there doing it. It's nothing to be ashamed of. It's just something that you have to go through. And this says it best. I took a picture of Tom when he wasn't looking. I was like, not all wounds are visible, and it's very true. Your mental health and how you handle those situations are very important. So it's really nice to see that beer making a difference yet again in something that sometimes people feel ashamed about admitting, but it's nothing to feel ashamed about at all. It makes you actually seeking help is the best thing you could possibly do.
I think that's a really, really great way to put it. Scott, thank you for your service.
Oh, yeah.
First of all,
Long
first and
time
foremost.
ago. Long time ago.
And I think that in a military town like San Diego,
Makes a lot of sense.
This 100% makes sense.
yeah, and so Bitter Brothers, one of the reasons we chose them, the owner, Bill Warnke, is also a USMC, so 68 to 72. And so we're brewing the beer both at Nickel full-time and then at Bitter Brothers, 30-barrel batches for distribution. So that's just got launched through Karl Strauss Distribution this past week. So hopefully you'll start seeing the beer around town.
So when you're buying beer from Karl Strauss, because they are amazing distributors, get this Warrior Contribution beer, because this is super, super good. Tom, I could drink this all day.
This
is phenomenal.
Real nice, just light golden ale, 5%. It's got a little Pilsner malt, little Munich malt, appropriately enough, bittered with Warrior hops, and then Tettnang hops in the finish.
Awesome.
Just designed to be a year-round crushable beer in San Diego. And the very first batch we ever brewed just took a bronze medal at the San Diego International Beer Festival.
Congratulations!
I can see why. It's a delicious beer.
And we will have it on tap at the International Beer Festival happening at the San Diego County Fair over Father's Day weekend.
Lovely. That's awesome.
So even if you don't want to help people with PTSD for God knows whatever reason, the beer itself stands on its own feet, man. It's a delicious beer. It's great.
Perfect for summer.
Get it, yeah.
Perfect for summer, right?
Fully crushable.
Crushable.
Heading into the warmer weather, probably, hopefully in a week or so. Maybe And this is something you're going to
warmer weather.
Yes.
Put that in quotes.
And when you go out to Nickel Beer Company, one of the things that I love about there out in Julian, when you go out there, is it feels like you are in the middle of the forest drinking beer. And all I want, and I pretend like I'm camping because I'm way too girly to actually go camping. I don't like to get dirty.
You're glamping.
I like to glamp.
Picnic tables, there's a little dirt on the ground, and there's trees around.
That's what it is. That's why I love Nickel Beer Company. So this will be perfect right there as the weather gets warmer.
Yeah.
Nice.
You could see deer and stuff and quail and stuff kind of.
Our brew day on our way back home, we saw baby deers all over the place. We kept chasing them, almost like it was like
We were frolicking.
All right, how many beers were you in as you were frolicking with the deer?
We can't talk about that. So many.
Allegedly.
How about this? So many.
He
he had to pee behind a trash can at Carl's Jr. in Santee.
Segura.
I enjoyed that.
Nature calls.
I didn't hear any of these stories. I have plausible deniability.
Right?
If it happens below 4,000 feet, I'm not
All we can say is
responsible for
thanks,
it.
Tom. Thanks for a great collab day that day. It was great.
Yes.
Well, and interestingly, so all 3 beers we're drinking today are collaborations.
Yeah, so
That's
a
true.
big reason why I have
Cool.
the 4 of you together with me right now is O'Brien's is celebrating 25 years.
20
There you
years,
go.
baby.
This is super,
What a long,
super
strange
huge.
sip it's been.
That reminds me of a song.
Yeah.
I love O'Brien's steak night on Friday.
Boom.
Phenomenal special that you have going on. And then you also do these awesome beer dinners once a month too.
Yeah.
Which, Tyson, dude, I mean,
They're a lot of
Tell
fun.
us about these beer dinners.
please.
Well, I'll tell you especially about this year's set of beer dinners. So we do one a month every year, year after year, right? One a month. We usually pull in one brewery and maybe do a collaboration beer and then pick out a nice selection of beers from the portfolio and put together a 6-course beer dinner. A lot of fun. I mean, it's just fun to get creative and create new menus each month. Asking brewers and participants kind of what they're into eating and playing off of flavors and putting fun things together. But this year's special because we're doing 25 beer collaborations for our 25 years with all of these breweries.
Oh, there's some
so
good
if
ones
you
on
think-
there,
If you try and
too.
divide that by 12 months, that's basically 2 beers a month.
Well, except for this line.
So that's 2 breweries.
What about that Colby
each
Chandler?
month. Yeah. That's an awesome list. I mean, Tom and I sat down on a road trip 2 years ago at Hollister in Goleta, and we're like, you know what? We got some time here. Let's put a list together, a wish list together, and breweries and people that meant a lot to the pub, the pub family. And I think we did it in like 30 fucking seconds. It seemed like
Pretty crazy.
we put it together really quick.
And I would assume anybody that you asked, like, wanted to be a part of it because just so
No,
much.
we didn't have anybody say no, that's
No.
for sure.
Well, just O'Brien's has done so much for the beer community.
Yes.
25 years, you guys have continually had a tap list that, I mean, other than Hamilton's, I really can't think
Well,
of
it's
another
the-
tap list that is just so eclectic.
That's what we share in common. We
Yeah.
care a ton about beer and community, and that's what good pubs and taverns do.
So,
You know, and-
O'Brien's is the seminal beer bar.
Yes.
So I was a patron there long before I had Hamilton's Tavern. So, I have this thing for Hamilton's always innovate, don't imitate, right? So ours is
Yes.
dark and loud and raucous.
Yes.
And O'Brien's is bright and open and
We never know what
and
time it
raucous.
is when we're in Hamilton.
That's the
We
good news.
never know what time it is.
So that was the innovation on it, but it
Vegas
was
style.
also like trying to bring something to where we're at. But there's a Seminole beer bar, so far that's where I've cut my teeth. With no O'Brien's, no Hamilton's. So it just really kind of comes like full circle in that Oboris.
Borealis?
No, it's the snake eating its tail. Anyway, so it's the
Ouroboros.
Ouroboros.
Ouroboros,
Yes.
there you go.
So, but looking up there, it's like Colby, a Silva. I mean, like
There's some solid.
Bagby.
that might have been a good combo together. The Colby Silva thing,
There's a lot of fun.
Can hear them going
that's
at
the
each
great
other
thing
over
about
Too much
this
ginger
list,
in one
too.
month.
It's
The
way
great
too
thing
much
about this
ginger.
list is so many of these people are friends and have been and had experiences at the pub, have stories, and that's what the dinners end up kind of unveiling. We have 2 breweries per dinner this year, and we've matched them up, knowing that some fun stories and collaboration kind of come out of it, and you're sitting there at a dinner enjoying a course, and I'll talk food, and then the brewer will get up and speak about the beer, and then tell a story about O'Brien's, or like start talking shit about some situation, whatever, something fun. You know
Yeah,
what I
so
mean?
do you
like
come up with
Yeah,
the
you don't
menu,
give the floor to
Tyson?
the guys like this.
Yeah,
You come up with the menu.
Yeah, so I do most of it. I kind of exec chef it, and then I do probably 4 or 5 of the 6 courses. We've had our kitchen staff that have really come up and shown some great growth over the year. They're now taking over at least 1 course, and then we're inviting friend chefs to come and do a course. So Matt Kamix participated in this last dinner.
Yes.
Feastmaster
And
K-Mac.
then Corey and Gunther from Carl Strauss are part of part of this dinner as well. So this is a lot of fun.
Gunther.
Tyson, I really
And
want to commend
good
you
time.
on your birthday bacon.
Oh, thanks.
Yes.
Become an animal.
I
That's
have
a
gone
staple
on
of
the
every beer
record,
dinner.
dude. I've gone on the record for years now about how I don't eat bacon. I don't like bacon. I don't like it. I
Asshole
don't.
For not bringing some now.
Well, no. So that's the thing
Complete
is, I have
dickhead.
your bacon. I have your birthday bacon. I'm like, well, this is some bacon I can get behind.
Right?
I think if all bacon
You
was
like
like
steak?
this.
And it's different each time.
Yeah, so each
rolled
dinner
in
will
coffee,
take the
covered in
same
blue cheese. So many different ways of doing it.
It'll go dessert. It'll get brulee, like creme brulee. You know, it'll get all
I've been
sorts of different
to many of
applications,
these-
depending on the beer, right? So
I've been to many of these
all about
dinners, and I always
balance.
learn something new. Like the last one I was out there, or maybe 2 times before, it was something about chicken oysters. And I was like,
Chicken
and I was like,
oysters?
what the hell is that? And then I'm eating
like the
it,
chicken butt.
and I'm like, oh, it's beechwood,
Yeah.
and it was amazing. And I was just like, these are the best things I've ever eaten.
Right.
And he gave me a little bit of the gravy or whatever the reduction.
Yeah.
And I was eating that for like I was.
You just see Scott.
No,
like,
I'm not even joking. I was eating it up like this bone broth
Yeah.
and eating it. It was just nuts.
If there's anybody out there who has not yet been to a beer dinner at O'Brien's, you've got to ask yourself what you're doing with your life.
And it's
You
not
really do.
good things.
Why have
That's-
you failed this hard
Yes.
for this
You're
long?
failing so hard.
Yeah.
So getting into
I like how they're not pretentious. They're not
They're
bullshit.
not at all,
It's like
yeah.
going to the pub and being served, maybe some upscale food, but we fucking drop F-bombs and
It's
we're
hanging
just
out
having
with
a
your
ton of
friends.
fun.
Drop fewer for the
Oh, should I? Oh,
It's
is this-
okay. No,
we're on
this,
the
hey,
video.
man, this is the internet. You say you do
yeah.
what you want. I'm not gonna stop.
No,
you.
but it's so just like relaxed, like flip flop and t-shirt, but
Oh,
awesome
like Paul
food.
Segura style, flip flop and t-shirt.
That's what I'm about.
Segura
Awesome
style.
food,
And a monkey paw
amazing
hat.
stories,
right, monkey paw.
world-class people, and amazing beer. It's just like it's a cool combination.
The
without
deal of it is
bullshit.
many of these things as we've gone to and been part of, it is an unpretentious event, and a lot of times that's where it's not dumbed down where it's like here's Rec Alley barrel aged with chocolate lava cake. Well, no shit. Of course that works.
No, here's
But it
Rec-
might be,
here's Rec
but it might
Alley
be
with
something
chocolate
weird. But it might be something
beer
weird
braised
like
beef cheek
or
and
coffee
whatever,
crusted
yeah.
birthday bacon
Fried
with
or
it.
something, yeah.
So it's really, really one of those situations where they do it right. It's affordable, and you leave an ROI, return on your investment. Every time you're going to get your money's worth. And a lot of these times you'll go to these things and you spend way too much money, and you're like, what,
You're like, I'm still hungry.
Where are we going to
and
dinner
I'm
after
not
this,
even
right?
yeah,
buzzed.
where am I going to go get some beer? That's not going to be a problem.
So there's
for this.
there's no taco shop stop on the way home after.
No,
a
there's
beer
no,
dinner.
nobody
Right.
leaves hungry. Nobody leaves thirsty.
you're
Nobody leaves thinking, well, that was boring
Yeah.
or stuffy.
You're
Uber
gonna
and Lyft
you're gonna
make some money that
contemplate
night.
quitting drinking the following Monday, and then going on a 3-day fast.
I can't wait. I'm really excited.
Your mind's gonna get blown, too.
So is this the official anniversary beer? This beer that we're drinking
So
right
we have
now?
25 of them. There are
25
25
official-
official. So the theme is 25
official
beers for 25 years. So 2 releases every month. This sounded like a great idea 2 years ago at Hollister when we were coming up with this list. Now we're actually
couple
having to
beers
brew
in.
25 beers this year as collaborations.
And you
which
guys
is
are
insane.
traveling.
so
You
many
guys are
different schedules.
going
It's
to like
crazy.
some
Oh, yeah.
brewing company.
We just got back from Paso Robles, Buellton, Long Beach. Like it's
What were you
nuts.
doing when I called him because I needed to get some advice on we're making a beer and I wanted to get advice on
We were Buellton.
on using cider.
We were
apple cider.
literally at Firestone Barrel Works blending a beer. They just opened up Barrel Works for us and said, hey, whatever you want, you have at it. Like, we'll pull anything from any barrel you want. And it was just absolutely
that's-
insane.
that's-
Like,
You know how jealous
Freaking
that
huge.
is?
yeah.
That's huge.
It's
Like,
insane.
people don't realize how special that is.
No, they specifically made particular sour barrels just for us, just for our anniversary.
So
beer.
what you're saying is you're kind of a big
we did not
deal.
expect that.
Well,
we
Tyson and I are kind of big, and we are a deal.
Yes.
2 for 1.
Yes. super
No
deal.
arguments from
We are
anybody.
kind of big and kind of
But
deal.
it was a jealous thing. I'm like, I'm just trying to get advice on how much cider base, if I'm going to use cider to make this beer. And I'm like, he makes Julian apple pie beer. So he knows it really well. I'm like, hey, I've never used apple cider. And he's like, I said, what are you doing anyway? And he's like, oh, yeah, we're just at Firestone Walker getting ready to barrel blend. I
Yeah.
go, what do you got?
NBD,
He goes,
whatever.
Well, I said, what barrels are you using? He's like, all of them.
All of
Yeah,
them.
all of them.
And I was like, put it on mute. And I was like,
Yeah.
So they had a finger lime sour, a Meyer lime sour, or Meyer lemon sour, a Santa Rosa plum sour that they had never blended anything with, and then they'd never used their Flanders or the Bretta Rosé as blending components.
Wow.
So like basically everything we ended up using in the beer had never been used as a blending component. So obviously they released the Bretta Rosé and the Flanders as individual beers, but the other 3 had never been used in anything, and we used all of the plum beer.
That's so
So it's great. So it's like, we're like, well, that'll determine what, because that was like 46% of our blend. And so however much of that there is, it'll determine how much we make. So we used all of it.
If you happen to not make it to one of these beer dinners because, this is San Diego and we wait till the last minute and it sells out, whatever, will these beers still be on tap? It's so San Diego. Will these beers still be on tap at O'Brien's like a couple days afterward? And when they're gone, they're gone?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Sucks for
100%.
you.
And then at the places where they're made. So like right now, we drinking next the South Park collaboration we did, and then the Carl Strauss collaboration we did. So these are both on tap at the breweries that we had them at.
So Scott, we can find this Silver Sabro at South Park right now.
Silver Sabro. We came up with some names. Tyson named it. Silver. Why? 25th anniversary is Silver.
Silver.
So that makes sense. But we wanted to call it Sabro. What's up, bro?
Sabro.
What's up, bro? Because it's fun. But this was inspired off
because of the name of the
hop
you have to
that
explain.
we're
There
using.
we go.
Yes, sorry.
Sabro hops.
Not everybody knows that.
Oh,
Sabro hops.
it's kind of like a newfangled, tricked out hop. And so we had set out to make an English summer ale, which is basically like an English blonde. So we had gotten some yeast that Tom uses from Bagby Brewing Company. Was nice enough to give us a pitch of yeast.
Shout out Bagby.
And he's up there. The last in December. So so we were able to get a pitch of the Lacruda yeast, and then we were using Sabro. We used Admiral malts from
Alameda.
Which is the first pre-prohibition or post-prohibition
California maltery.
all California from raw ingredients right here in the state. So we're making this fun thing, but it turned out a little bit drier than we thought. And the Sabro hops, we did them all at end of kettle, and we cooled down our wort to make it oily and more flavorful, less bitter. So it's a really drinks, as you can see, a summer pale ale.
Yes,
I mean,
totally
it's almost a 6% beer.
Yeah.
And it's a sniper
it
because
does have that little
this
oiliness
will
to
mess you up.
Yeah.
This will
I mean,
mess you up.
you can drink a lot. I mean, you're like, it doesn't drink like a 6% beer.
Like, I know we have another beer to get to, and it's taking my everything not to like
I'm gonna have a touch more. if you
pour.
don't
Like,
mind.
okay. Well, I mean, as long as we're both doing it, then deal. Tyson.
So is that
I'm game.
oiliness
I
coming
got
from the
your
hop
back.
itself?
Got your back.
Yeah.
The hop itself has this sort of, I don't know, coconut-like flavors.
Tropical coconut oiliness.
I
for
get
sure.
like the first thing when I got back from honeymoon, the first thing I did, because this is the first beer I wanted to try, I was like, white gummy bear on the nose.
White gummy bear.
And like
it
it's
has
a
that tropical
it's a
kinda
white
sweetness,
and then on the back end is like there's a little faint hint of coconut. We're gonna do it 3 ways at the beer dinner. We got to see if the nitro thing works out because we thought the beer would have some residual sweetness, so then it would be pub ale. We have a pub ale, so it'll be on nitro. We have this version, and then we do a version of we use a different beer each time we do it. We do it called Lime into Coconut, based on the song.
Yes.
Harry Nielsen, right? So it's a good
Yes.
song. Brother bought a coconut, he bought it for it. So
Wait, how's that go?
Brother bought a coconut, he bought it for a dime. So it
Give
has
this man more beer.
it has lime, actual coconut in it, and it has a little bit of lactose to add some back sweetening to it. And so I have a feeling that you're going to love this, and you would.
Can't wait to taste that.
You know, I mean, so
That's gonna be excellent.
It's always a great beer. We usually blend it with our English summer ale, which is called Towhead Blonde, and so this is perfect for it because the Sabro hops
already have that
already
oily
have it.
coconut
So
tropical.
So lime and coconut, I don't know, maybe coconut shrimp or something? With
Oh,
that
he
beer?
was
Yeah, I think we're gonna mess around with that inspiration, but we're gonna play.
All right.
We're gonna play. It'll be a surprise.
I want to just take
we're
like
gonna play.
a real quick second to talk about South Park Brewing Company. I feel like you guys are so under the radar, but
Sure.
you're making such solid beers.
listen, I'm easy to hate. So taking this.
Not the truth. I'm so glad he said it so I didn't have to.
It's easy. Put it on my tab. Put it on my tab. I don't need you to like me. We make good beer. That's it.
Yeah.
That's everything that I've
Yeah.
ever done in this community has always been for the beer first. Not about. I don't care if people. I'm not running for mayor. I
Right.
don't need you to like me.
Right.
I'm just doing good things for beer and my community. People don't realize that we put $750,000 into building that dilapidated, ugly space that improved everyone's property value.
Yeah.
Everybody's property value because it was an empty space that went up. That was the original Monkey Paw location, but the landlord did not want to do it then. So
I had no idea.
So that would have been, and then of course, you know, then he came back to me years later, 6 years later or whatever, and was like, hey, do this. But as we've went through this last 13 years, in this industry, we've seen a lot of change. And I've changed a lot myself personally. And what I've noticed, the most important thing is that quality will always reign. Nowadays, everybody's a merchandise company. They can write it on a label, and then therefore it becomes truth. No, it doesn't. That's fake news.
Or you can say it on the internet and it's true.
Or you can say it on the internet. It's
Everything
true.
on the internet.
And we've had to deal with slanderous libels, the craziness that goes on, and the ever-changing demographic of our landscape. But I've always just remained true to one thing. Hey, you know what? I could have been a better mentor to brewers that were underneath me, and I wasn't. So I'm better mentors to my guys now. Anya and Sully.
Dude,
shout out to
Sully,
you guys. You guys are my homies.
Awesome.
Yes.
Anya and Sully, they do most of the work. I'm a computer warrior, so I'm sitting there building recipes and then going in and knocking out. That's all I'm doing. So they're really doing it. They're doing the work.
Well, and to kind of circle back, I've always been very vocal about this. This Hamilton's was the first place that I ever went to have craft beer. I didn't know what this craft beer thing was until I went to Hamilton's. And to bring it back around, I think that, the fact that you acknowledged that O'Brien's was the thing that you were like, all right, this is what it's going to be. And I think that, like you said, innovation, it's not imitation, it's innovation. And I think that you've done that with Hamilton's. And if it wasn't for a place like O'Brien's, we don't have these amazing beer bars that have really good food behind them also.
Well, and it's cool too, just like Tyson was saying, these stories that come out at the beer dinners where Doug and Travis would tell stories about hey, we sat at O'Brien's and planned society. And we wanted society to be close to O'Brien's. That was part of our business plan. Or Kern River, when they came down, and Eric and Rebecca are talking about Eric's a grad student at UCSD, and he's like, I drank at O'Brien's and literally conceived of the idea of opening my own brewery over a beer at O'Brien's.
I closed my 91X deal at O'Brien's.
See, there you go.
It was.
I've got a story too.
Let's hear
From
it.
Hang 10 Brewing Company. Back in the day. Hang 10 Brewing Company proceeded.
Nobody under 40 remembers Hang 10. Sorry.
That was 23 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. It's just that nobody.
I remember one day Chuck Silva and I of Silva Brewing Company were brewing at Hang 10, and our little sales rep came in and said, I just got our beer on tap at O'Brien's.
Come on, Muscle, help me out.
Jim O'Brien.
Yeah.
Who was even taller than me.
Oh, yeah.
Took some of our IPA from Hang 10 Brewing Company and put it on tap at O'Brien's. And Chuck Silva and I said, we're somebody now.
Good.
We're arrived.
But let me ask you, was that IPA as buttery as most of Chuck's beers? I'm just kidding. It's a joke. Dude, I love Chuck. But he's gonna be. I'll see him at that beer dinner, and he'll probably tell me he's gonna punch me in the face because he doesn't like jokes like that.
He's just going to punch you in the face. That's not Chuck's style.
He's an angry ginger.
He gets mad.
Spicy ginger.
Extra red in the face.
All right, Segura, this looks juicy.
This is a hazy IPA, and yes, I'm not a huge fan of hazies, but these guys bullied me.
Oh,
They
They bullied me.
This is
Did
like
they
our
haze
fifth
you?
collaboration
Yeah.
idea on the Mosaic.
And this little badger right
Mosaic
here.
session. And we were running out of ideas. We've
were.
done an IPA version, a double IPA, a triple IPA version.
Yep, we have.
We've done just about everything to this. So it was either make it a brewed IPA, which didn't seem that different from the existing double IPA, or we try the hazy, which was something totally new.
So 2 years ago we did the hazy mosaic, or no,
the
double mosaic.
Double, yeah.
Session, which was a single IPA.
At
Yes.
Collabapalooza,
So,
right?
I think it was a Collabapalooza, wasn't it?
Yep.
Anyway, then we did a triple mosaic. Tom's right. We were running out of ideas. We said, how about let's do a hazy version of the Dubmo, which Carl Strauss was so popular. Carl Strauss kind of renamed it, called it Isomerizer.
Okay.
And so we did a hazy version this year. So we
hazy.
added a lot more late kettle hops. We used a different yeast, which is the New England style yeast.
What's alcohol on it?
7.
Oh, that's
nice.
that's another sniper right there.
And it's all
This is
single hop
one.
mosaic. And it's all because
all
of these
mosaic,
guys.
It's still got some nice firm bitterness on the palate too. It's
Yeah.
not so
I like it. It's
Yeah.
not
So overly
just
soft.
flat and juicy.
No, it isn't. It is.
It still
little-
drinks
a little
like
West Coast.
West Coast, yeah. It still drinks
Yeah.
West Coast.
Tyson, what would you pair this with?
Oh
What
my
kind of
gosh.
food would you pair this with?
Man, we could go a lot of different ways with this. So I usually try and find like one angle, and like that'll drive how the dish develops. So like fatty fish comes to mind right here, and then I would probably accent with things like maybe a nice acidic kind of fruity sauce.
I was gonna say like something citric,
or you know, some freeze-dried crunchy corn, and or like,
See, I always think that your wife Christina is so lucky because you come up with these amazing ideas, but really you get to share it with all of us. Because when you go to O'Brien's, you get to taste these amazing dishes. I mean, when O'Brien's,
she gets to see like the beginnings of the dish and say no a lot, or you should try this a lot, or fuck yeah, that's good. Let's do that.
One of the great things about O'Brien's is, you know, you can get that pub food, you can get that burger, you know, that the pub thing, or if you want something like a little more elevated like that, O'Brien's got you covered.
It's come to the dinner.
Awesome.
You have some fun things. Birthday bacon's on the menu all the time.
Full time now.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get if you're lucky enough or unlucky enough. It depends. It seems like once a year at Fresh Hop Festival, I end up with Jeff Whittaker sitting at the table with him.
I'm sorry to hear that.
And eating scorpion beer cheese.
Scorpion pepper beer cheese, yeah.
And one year we had it not only as a dip on crackers, but we had it also on a burger. And, you know, I'm like, it sobers you up real quick.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Like your endorphins start kicking.
Until you have to drink so much to get it to flavor out of your mouth.
And it was the guys this last year. It was Jeff and the guys from Thunderhawk, and Tom sat down. And he got a big. We just had crackers, and I was like, I don't want to eat any more of it, but for some reason you got to keep
Here's the funny thing. Here's the part of the story he's leaving out.
I know.
The part of the story he's leaving out is then what Scott started doing is slathering this on crackers and walking around to everybody in the bar and going, you have to eat this. And they're like, I'm not sure about this. He's like, no, trust me, just try it. And he's got this like mountain of scorpion pepper beer cheese on there.
Okay, I did do that.
Everybody in the pub. And he's just like, I'm so innocent. This was all about me. And it's like, I was causing mad stomach issues throughout all of O'Brien.
That is such a Scott Blair move.
I did that.
Because sometimes
that's why we love
I like to share.
He's a bully.
Sometimes it's very exciting, but other times it's like, oh no.
Because whatever's left over from the beer dinner, they're running that as salads, as sandwiches, on burgers, in the tacos, like everything.
Well, there you go. You just got the
So if you miss the beer dinner, come immediately after for lunch or dinner.
But don't let that dissuade you from coming to the beer dinner.
No, not at all.
Well,
you got to step
Oh my goodness.
Because you're not going to hear this guy speak if you come in on Monday. Nothing.
Well,
I don't know.
Tyson, Tom, Scott, thank you guys so much for coming on. Segura, as always, you're the best. If anybody doesn't know, Blair and I, we have matching hop tattoos. It's very exciting every time I go places, you know.
there's three of us that do.
Yeah, this is San Francisco Beer Week. This is what happens when you run into Scott Blair drunk. You go get tattoos. So O'Brien's celebrating 25 years here in San Diego. Every month there is a beer dinner. What is the best way to keep up with what's going on with O'Brien's all year?
Instagram, Facebook.
Yep. All right, get on the gram, get on the Facebook, follow O'Brien's, and you do not want to miss.
Stop by and see this handsome guy in person.
I'll tell you exactly what's going on.
Flirt with him.
Every day there is a special, but I'm going to tell you this right now. Fridays, the steak special is my favorite thing all week long. So
25
little hot butter on the mashed potatoes.
Oh, so good.
25 bucks, 12-ounce ribeye, mashed potato, side salad, and any pint on the board.
And they're good pints too. You're not getting like those cheapy pints.
Yeah, no.
Just saying.
Yep. Everything on the board's usually pretty special, like some kind of one-off that you've never had before.
Exactly. So remember, every Friday, Paul Segura does come on the Moog Show about 9:10, and we'll tell Moog, myself, and you what you need to be drinking this weekend. And yeah, I think it's going to be some O'Brien collaboration.
I think it's going to be some of this.
Thank you guys so
Thank you,
much.
Danielle. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, 91X.
And cheers to independent craft beer in San Diego.
Yeah.
Don't sleep.
Cheers.
91X.